The most violent Midwest tornado outbreak of the season tore across northern Illinois and northwest Indiana on Thursday afternoon. The first confirmed tornado touched down in Streator at 5:52 p.m. Central Time. The footage is striking. Homes flattened, roofs torn off, a high school stripped in Merrillville, a man pulled from rubble, power lines down across 4 states, 11 homes destroyed in Streator. The tornado count keeps rising. 4 confirmed by Friday morning, 5 by Friday afternoon, 7 by Saturday evening, 2 of them EF-3. The warning ended, but the damage survey just started. At least 7 tornadoes preliminarily confirmed by NWS Chicago. 2 at EF-3, Streator and Kouts. 1 at EF-2, Merrillville. 4 at EF-1 or EF-0, Wenona, Dwight, Bartlett, St. John. More than 200 buildings damaged in Merrillville. The roof of Andrean High School torn away. 4 hospitalized. Nearly 500,000 customers without power across 4 states at peak. 800 flights canceled. 0 deaths in any Illinois or Indiana tornado town. It is no longer a question of whether the tornadoes were strong. The surveys have answered. Before the storms arrived, the Storm Prediction Center had upgraded the Chicago region to level 4 of 5, moderate risk. As the first tornadoes touched down, the National Weather Service issued the strongest warning category in its lexicon, a tornado emergency. That phrase is reserved for confirmed dangerous tornadoes threatening populated areas. It is no longer the warning the NWS issues for the possible. It is the warning the NWS issues for the certain. But here is the detail that tells the real story. The National Weather Service Chicago office has radar coverage from the Great Lakes to the Mississippi Valley. They have a network of trained spotters across 47 counties. They have deployed survey teams to Streator, Bartlett, Dwight, Merrillville, Hebron, and Kouts. And their first official rating from the field reads, "Our survey team has found EF-3 damage in Kouts, Indiana. The man in Streator pulled from the rubble of his collapsed home. The students at Andrean High School, who came back Friday morning to find their first roof gone. The families in Wenona, Toluca, and Washburn who made it to the basement in time. The 3,000 ComEd workers restoring power across northern Illinois. The NWS survey teams walking damage paths from Bartlett to Kouts with measuring tapes and clipboards. For the 4 hours the storms were on the ground, the radar showed the warning. For the 2 days since, the surveys have been showing the damage. The emergency was measured in minutes. The damage will be measured in miles. This is how it happened. By late afternoon Thursday, the first tornado warnings were going out across central Illinois. At 5:52 p.m. Central Time, a confirmed tornado touched down in Streator. Within minutes, the National Weather Service issued a tornado emergency for Washburn, LaRose, Toluca, Wenona, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado moving through populated areas. The storm system continued east. By evening, it was crossing into northwest Indiana. At 7:41 p.m., a tornado warning went out for a confirmed tornado over Shelby, near Lowell. Just before 8 p.m., another warning was issued, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado near Hebron, on track to impact Kouts and Boone Grove. Another tornado was tracked over St. John, moving northeast toward Merrillville and Gary. Tornadoes were on the ground across 2 states at the same time. Straight-line winds hit the Chicago metro, with reports of 80-mile-per-hour gusts. Heavy rainfall caused flooding in northern Illinois. More than 800 flights were canceled. South Shore Line rail service was suspended. Overnight, the storm system moved east and cleared. By Friday morning, NWS Chicago survey teams were already in the field. The first EF-3 rating came from Kouts. By Saturday evening, the count had grown to 7, including a second EF-3 in Streator and EF-2 in Merrillville. The radar showed a storm. Streator showed what the storm did. What happened in Streator was visible from the radar before it was visible from the street. At 5:52 p.m., the tornado crossed into the southern edge of town. 11 homes were damaged, some completely destroyed. Power lines came down. 4 people were treated for minor injuries. One man was trapped in the rubble of his own collapsed home, pulled out by his neighbors before the ambulance arrived. He told first responders his leg was broken. The city opened a reunification center at City Hall. The Red Cross opened a shelter. Preliminary rating, EF-3. The storm did not stop at the state line. By 8 p.m., the same outbreak had crossed into Indiana. In St. John, a tornado dropped briefly and lifted. Preliminary rating EF-0. In Merrillville, more than 200 buildings were damaged. The roof of Andrean High School was torn away. Broken glass covered the classrooms. A command center was established at 61st and Cleveland. Preliminary rating EF-2. But the strongest tornado of the outbreak landed further east still, near Hebron, through Kouts, across rural Porter County. NWS survey teams reached the area Friday morning. Their measurements came back the same afternoon. EF-3 damage in Kouts. Survey, the official term for what the National Weather Service is doing across Illinois and Indiana right now. Walking damage paths. Rating debris. Studying radar archives. Separating tornado damage from straight-line wind damage. Refining the official tornado count one rating at a time. Unlike a single supercell tornado, this was an outbreak. Multiple circulations along the same squall line. Unlike a plains tornado over open farmland, this hit populated communities. Streator, Merrillville, Bartlett. Unlike a one-strike event, this is a multi-day survey, and the count is still rising. To understand what the survey teams are confirming, look at the scale they are using. The enhanced Fujita scale runs from EF-0 to EF-5. EF-3, the rating issued for Streator and Kouts, covers winds from 136 to 165 miles per hour. EF-5, the rarest, reaches above 200 miles per hour. EF-3 is not just a storm. It is severe tornado damage, capable of destroying homes, removing roofs, collapsing walls, tossing debris. Preliminary ratings can still be refined. But EF-3 means survey crews already found damage consistent with a strong tornado. Here is what is not making most headlines. Not every piece of destruction was tornado damage. Straight-line winds also reached 80 miles per hour across the Chicago metro. They can knock down trees, snap power poles, strip roofs, block roads. A tornado leaves a narrower, rotating damage path. Walls collapse inward, debris scatters in circular patterns, roof timbers twist. WS survey teams separate these signatures by studying debris patterns, radar data, and eyewitness reports. The storm left damage everywhere. The survey has to find the fingerprints. This is why the power outage map and the tornado damage map are not the same map. Nearly 500,000 customers lost power across Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan at the peak. By Friday afternoon, the count was down to 180,000 in Illinois and 115,000 in Indiana. ComEd has 3,000 employees in the field. The radar saw the storm. The power grid felt the storm. The survey teams are still measuring it. It is not over yet. The tornado emergency expired Thursday night. The Storm Prediction Center has moved the severe weather risk west. Enhanced risk across eastern Kansas, Missouri, and northeastern Oklahoma. The outbreak zone has shifted. The severe weather pattern has not fully ended. The NWS survey teams are still walking damage paths. ComEd is still restoring power across northern Illinois. The streets of Streator and Merrillville are still being cleared. The damaged homes of Wenona, Bartlett, Hebron, and Kouts are still being assessed. What we know, at least 7 tornadoes preliminarily confirmed by NWS Chicago. Streator and Kouts, preliminary EF-3. Merrillville, preliminary EF-2. Recovery is ongoing. What we do not know, the final tornado count, the final EF ratings, the full path lengths, the total damaged homes, the final cost, whether more tornadoes will be confirmed. The question is not whether the tornado emergency is still active. It is not. The question is not whether another Illinois tornado outbreak is coming today. The risk has shifted to the plains. The question is what the residents of Streator, Merrillville, Wenona, Kouts, Bartlett take away from a Thursday afternoon when the radar warning became their roof. A tornado outbreak does not end when the radar clears. The sirens stopped on June 11, but across Illinois and Indiana, the storm is still being measured, one damage path at a time. If this story is worth telling, subscribe. We cover more of these every week.